Today we're going to talk about a very critical issue. If you're over 60 and struggling with chronic pain, and at the same time you've noticed that no matter how little you eat, your weight just won't budge. Much of what you've been told may be incomplete, even misleading. You've been told it's a natural part of aging, right? That your metabolism is slowed down, that it won't be the same as it used to be, that you need to learn to live with the pain. Maybe your doctor advised you to take your medication regularly, eat less, and exercise a little if possible. What if I told you that all of this only scratches the surface? What if I told you that your chronic pain and weight issues are actually two sides of the same coin, that you're stuck in a dark cycle that feeds off each other? Look, I've been following my patients for years. I've worked with thousands of people over the age of 60. And I've noticed this. The vast majority of patients suffering from chronic pain have unexplained weight gain. They watch their diet. They even eat less than before. But the belly area, hips, legs, the fat continues to accumulate. For a long time, I thought this was simply due to a lack of movement. It made sense. You're in pain, you move less, you burn fewer calories. A simple equation. But I was wrong. A comprehensive study published in 2019 by Dr. Robert Edwards and his team at Harvard Medical School completely redefined the effect of chronic pain on metabolism. This research revealed that pain is not just a symptom, but also a metabolic trigger that fundamentally alters your body's energy usage system. Now we'll explain this mechanism step by step, because you can't fight your enemy without knowing it. When you experience chronic pain, your body is constantly in a state of perceived threat. When the brain receives pain signals, it switches to survival mode. This mode was evolutionarily designed for short-term dangers. It was a system that kicked in when you were being chased by a predator, injured, or fighting an infection. But in chronic pain, this system never shuts off. And this is precisely where a silent revolution begins in your metabolism. First, your cortisol levels rise. Cortisol, known as the stress hormone, should normally be high in the morning and low in the evening. But in individuals with chronic pain, cortisol remains high throughout the day. A 2021 study by Johns Hopkins University showed that cortisol levels in chronic pain patients are on average 47% higher than in healthy individuals. So what does cortisol do? Cortisol sends your body this message: there is danger, store energy. And your body obeys this command. It begins storing every calorie you consume, especially in the abdominal area, as visceral fat. This type of fat is not just an aesthetic problem. It is a dangerous type of fat that surrounds your organs, increases insulin resistance, and fuels inflammation. But wait, there's more. Chronic pain also ruins your sleep quality. You can't fall into deep sleep at night. Pain wakes you up or reduces the quality of your sleep, and sleep disturbance disrupts the balance of leptin and ghrelin. Leptin is your satiety hormone. Ghrelin is your hunger hormone. Insufficient sleep lowers leptin and raises ghrelin. The result? You're constantly hungry. You have an irresistible craving for sugary, fatty, high-calorie foods. Research from the Stanford University Sleep Center found that just 1 week of insufficient sleep reduces metabolic rate by 15%. Think about a week. Now, imagine someone with chronic pain who has been in this state for years, and a cycle forms. You experience pain. Your sleep is disrupted, cortisol rises, fat is stored. Increased fat, especially visceral fat, increases chronic inflammation in your body. Inflammation makes your pain receptors more sensitive. You experience more pain. And the cycle feeds itself. This is the pain-fat loop. The pharmaceutical industry tries to sell you painkillers and metabolism boosters instead of breaking this cycle. But these only mask the symptoms. They don't address the root cause. Now for the good news. This cycle can be broken. Yes, even after the age of 60. Yes, even if you've been suffering from chronic pain for years. But to do this, you need to address the right points. I'm going to share with you 8 scientifically proven strategies to break this cycle. I've ranked them from least effective to most effective. So we'll start with number 8, and by the time we get to number 1, I'll have given you the most powerful tool. Ready? Let's start with number 8, the strategic use of omega-3 fatty acids. Are your knees or hips stiff in the morning? Does your pain level fluctuate throughout the day? Does everything get worse by evening? The underlying mechanism is this. Chronic pain causes excessive production of pro-inflammatory cytokines in your body, specifically substances called interleukin-6 and tumor necrosis factor alpha. Both intensify your perception of pain and trigger the growth of your fat cells. Omega-3 fatty acids are natural anti-inflammatory agents that suppress the production of these cytokines. But here's a critical mistake most people make. They randomly pick up any fish oil from the store shelf. They don't even look at the label. Yet the effectiveness of omega-3 depends on the ratio of EPA and DHA it contains. To break the pain fat cycle, you need to take at least 1,000 milligrams of EPA and 500 milligrams of DHA daily, and timing is crucial. You should take omega-3 with a fatty meal. It increases absorption by 300%. Fish oil taken on an empty stomach passes through the intestines. A study published in the British Journal of Nutrition showed that this dose of omega-3 supplementation reduced inflammation markers by 33% in chronic pain patients within 8 weeks. And here's the interesting part. The same participants recorded an average reduction of 2 centimeters in their waist circumference measurements. Let's move on to number 7. Magnesium and muscle nerve communication. Do you get leg cramps at night? Are your muscles constantly tense? Do you wake up feeling unrested? Here's a fact that even most doctors overlook. Chronic pain rapidly depletes your magnesium stores. Because pain creates muscle tension consumes magnesium. As magnesium levels drop, muscles contract more easily and pain increases. But magnesium's relationship with metabolism runs much deeper. Magnesium acts as a cofactor in over 300 enzyme reactions. Most of these enzymes are involved in energy metabolism. When you're deficient in magnesium, your body struggles to produce energy from glucose, and it converts the glucose it can't use into fat. A meta-analysis published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that magnesium supplementation increased insulin sensitivity by 27%. But be careful. Not all magnesium is the same. Magnesium oxide, the most commonly sold form, has very low absorption, only 4%. Opt for magnesium citrate or magnesium glycinate. Magnesium glycinate, in particular, has high absorption and also improves sleep quality because it contains the amino acid glycine. Take 300 to 400 milligrams daily, 1 hour before bedtime. You will notice a significant improvement in your sleep quality within 2 weeks. Nighttime cramps will decrease within 4 weeks. Moving on to number 6. Hot-cold contrast therapy. This strategy targets both pain and metabolism at the same time. Hot water dilates your blood vessels. It increases blood flow. It relaxes muscles. Cold water does the opposite. It constricts blood vessels. But after this constriction, your body initiates a compensatory mechanism, and blood flow exceeds normal levels. These hot-cold transitions also activate your lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is the system that cleanses toxins and metabolic waste from your body. It does not have a pump like the heart. It works through muscle movements in this type of stimulation. And here's the metabolism connection. When exposed to cold, your body expends energy to warm up. Brown fat tissue becomes activated. Unlike white fat, brown fat does not store energy. It burns it. A study published in the journal Cell Metabolism showed that regular cold exposure increases brown fat activity by 15%. How to do it? End your shower with 3 minutes of warm water followed by 1 minute of cold water. Repeat this cycle 3 times. Gradually acclimate to the cold water at first. Start with only warm to cool transitions during the first week. If you are over 60 and have heart issues, do not attempt this without consulting your doctor. However, it is an extremely safe and effective method for healthy individuals. We've reached number 5, anti-inflammatory nutrition protocol. Now I'll talk about specific foods. But first, you need to understand this. The goal is not just to eat healthy. The goal is to systematically reduce inflammation and regain metabolic flexibility. What does metabolic flexibility mean? It means your body can easily switch from carbohydrates to fats and back to carbohydrates. Chronic pain and chronic inflammation destroy this flexibility. Your body starts using only glucose as fuel. It forgets how to burn fat. Here are the foods that will reverse this situation. turmeric. But not just turmeric, turmeric with black pepper. Curcumin, the active ingredient in turmeric, is very difficult to absorb on its own. Piperine in black pepper increases curcumin absorption by 2,000%. Mix half a teaspoon of turmeric, a pinch of black pepper, and a tablespoon of olive oil daily. Olive oil will further increase the absorption of fat-soluble curcumin, leafy greens, especially spinach, Swiss chard, and kale. These are rich in magnesium, vitamin K, and folate. But be careful. Mineral absorption decreases in raw consumption due to oxalates. Lightly steaming or squeezing lemon juice reduces oxalates. Ginger. Fresh ginger is much more effective than dried ginger. Grate 1 to 2 centimeters of fresh ginger daily and add it to your tea or meals. A study published in the Journal of Pain showed that daily ginger consumption reduced muscle pain by 25%. Fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, sardines, at least 3 servings per week. Avoid farmed salmon. Choose wild or ocean-caught fish. Farmed fish have an unbalanced omega-6 to omega-3 ratio and are inflammatory. And avoid these foods: refined sugar, processed oils, especially corn oil and sunflower oil, white flour products, alcohol. All of these are inflammation triggers. Moving on to number 4. Sleep hygiene and circadian rhythm restoration. I previously discussed how sleep disorders disrupt metabolism. Now I will explain how to correct this. Your circadian rhythm, your body's internal clock, regulates hormone release, energy metabolism, and even your immune system. Chronic pain and aging disrupt this rhythm. To fix it, follow these steps. Get natural sunlight within the first hour of waking up, at least 15 minutes. Let the sun hit your eyes, but don't stare directly at the sun. This ensures your cortisol spike happens at the right time and initiates melatonin production at night. After 7 p.m., reduce your exposure to blue light. Phones, tablets, televisions, they all emit blue light and suppress melatonin production. Use a blue light filter or turn on night mode. Use your bedroom only for sleep. Keep TV, work, and even reading outside the bed. Your brain should associate the bed with sleep. And the most critical point, go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, including weekends. Your circadian rhythm needs consistency. You might consider melatonin supplements, but be careful. Externally administered melatonin can suppress your body's own production. If you use it, start with a low dose. Even half a milligram may be enough, and take it 2 hours before bed, not right before. We've reached number 3, and things are getting serious. Low-intensity movement and lymphatic drainage. Exercising while in pain is extremely difficult, I know. But not moving reinforces the cycle. The solution is not high-intensity exercise. What you need is low-intensity, sustainable movement. Walking. 20 minutes a day at a gentle pace. Not running, walking. In nature, if possible. A study published in Nature Medicine showed that walking in nature reduces cortisol levels by 21% more than walking indoors. Water-based exercises, pool therapy, aqua aerobics. The buoyancy of water reduces pressure on your joints. You can move without pain, and the resistance of the water works your muscles. Gentle stretching movements, 10 minutes every morning. Not harsh, strenuous stretches. Gentle movements coordinated with your breath. Explore the principles of yoga or Tai Chi and dry brushing technique for lymphatic drainage. Get a natural bristle body brush. Before showering, brush your dry skin toward your heart. Start at the feet and work your way up. Start at the arms and work toward the shoulders. This technique stimulates lymphatic flow and helps cleanse metabolic waste from your body. Moving on to number 2, neural retraining and modification of pain perception. This is the point that most people completely overlook. Chronic pain is not just a physical problem. Chronic pain is a change in the way your brain processes pain. Your nervous system has become overly sensitive to pain. Even stimuli that would not normally be perceived as pain begin to be interpreted as pain. We call this central sensitization, and this sensitization directly fuels the metabolic cycle. Because the brain constantly perceives a threat, cortisol remains constantly high. Neural retraining teaches your brain to reevaluate pain signals. How is it done? First, graded exposure therapy, gradually performing movements that are feared or associated with pain in very small doses. For example, you have back pain and are afraid of bending forward. Start with a very slight bend, small enough not to cause pain. Increase it a little more each day. The brain learns that this movement is not dangerous. Second, redirecting attention. When you feel pain, instead of focusing entirely on the pain, redirect your attention to your breath, sounds around you, or another sense. This changes how pain signals are processed in the brain's pain matrix. Third, visualization. Imagine the painful area healing and relaxing in your mind. It sounds simple, but neuroplasticity research shows that these types of mental practices lead to real brain changes. A study published in JAMA Neurology found that an 8-week neural retraining program reduced pain intensity by 28% in patients with chronic back pain, and that this reduction was more lasting than medication. And now we come to number 1. The most powerful weapon: restoring insulin sensitivity and intermittent fasting. This is the strategy that strikes at the heart of the pain-fat cycle. Remember, chronic inflammation and high cortisol cause insulin resistance. Your cells don't respond to insulin. Your pancreas secretes more insulin. High insulin increases fat storage and prevents fat burning. Losing weight becomes nearly impossible. Intermittent fasting is one of the most effective ways to restore insulin sensitivity. How does it work? You eat during certain hours and consume only water, herbal tea, or black coffee during the remaining hours. The most common protocol is 16-8. You fast for 16 hours and eat during an 8-hour window. But for individuals over 60, this needs to be modified. Start with a 14-hour fast and a 10-hour eating window. For example, eat your last meal at 7 in the evening and have breakfast at 9 in the morning. This alone sends a powerful metabolic signal. During the fasting period, your body switches to burning fat. Insulin levels drop. The cellular cleanup mechanism called autophagy kicks in. Damaged proteins and cellular waste are cleared. And here's the interesting part. Autophagy also clears inflammatory molecules. A study published in the journal Cell showed that intermittent fasting reduced inflammatory markers by 27% in just 4 weeks. Another study found that intermittent fasting increased insulin sensitivity by 42% in individuals over the age of 65. But there are important points to consider. If you are taking diabetes medication, do not start this practice without consulting your doctor. There is a risk of hypoglycemia. Drink plenty of water during the fasting period. Dehydration can intensify pain. Consume high-quality, anti-inflammatory foods during your eating window. Intermittent fasting is not an excuse to eat fast food. And be patient. Your body has been in this cycle for decades. It will take time to improve, but it is improving. Now, stop and think. I gave you 8 strategies. Each one targets a different point in the pain-fat cycle. But don't try to implement them all at once. It will be overwhelming. It will create a sense of failure. Instead, do this. This week, choose 1 or 2 strategies, the ones that suit you best. Maybe starting with omega-3 is easy for you. Maybe improving your sleep hygiene is a priority. Whichever you choose, apply it consistently for 3 weeks. Then, add another strategy. You can create big changes with small steps. And remember, this cycle has been built up over years. Don't expect it to be solved in a few days. But within a few weeks, you'll start to see the first signs. A decrease in morning stiffness, improved sleep quality, an increase in your energy levels, and over time, changes in your waistline and on the scale. Now I want something from you. Write in the comments which strategy you'll start with this week. What are your experiences? Are you struggling with chronic pain and weight issues? What have you tried? What worked? What didn't? I read every comment. I do my best to give you personalized advice, because this channel exists not just to share information, but to build a community. We learn from each other, and if this video added value for you, please like it. The algorithm helps the video reach more people this way. Maybe thanks to your like, someone who really needs this information will see this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. A healthy, pain-free, and energetic life is your right. See you soon.